So that thing came out pretty cool, huh?
That's gonna totally make the tank.
Yeah, very, very neat.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Brett Raymond from the Hit Show Tank, and you need to watch my guys, Jack and Dan. Those guys are off the charts, and you guys will enjoy what those guys bring to the table.
Okay, so this is the Green Lantern symbol that we're going to use for a background of the tank. Just a really simple, easy, inexpensive kind of LED plastic thing. We got that off eBay, didn't we?
Yeah, I believe it was like $8 or $9. It looks pretty cool. I like the laser look to it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think they just use a little carving tool, carve into the plastic, shoot the LED down. Again, really easy to make, really super cool. Now, we're doing this tank kind of backwards. A lot of people say, hey, you're doing the background first. We do the backgrounds first on a lot of our tanks because the back is then against the wall and you can't really mess with it.
Yes, and then you have to move it, you have to move the stand, and then it's just good to have it.
Right. So we learned our lesson with the other tank because it leaked.
Yes.
And even though we
Started to,
yeah, even though we had it filled with water and even though we tested it, it still ended up leaking after we set it up. So we had to redo that tank. While we were doing that tank, we had the silicone and everything. We just went ahead and did this one. So we went ahead and we took all the old silicone out. We resealed it. We cleaned it. This was in pretty bad shape too. This was an old tank that Big Rich got to How Fish Rescue from somebody. Again, it was one of those situations where someone's spouse died and she called up Big Rich. She said, hey, come get this stuff. And it was just, really kind of a mess. The stand was okay. We did clean that up, and we'll show you that in a minute. This guy does have a lot of scratches, but they're very small scratches, and I think after we get things cleaned up and get it going, it's going to be okay. So as you can see, we did this tank exactly like the other ones. We did not reframe this one, though, because it has a nice kind of walnutty frame, which was okay. Big, old 75, old school, very thick. Doesn't have a center brace, which is cool because we can get a little more creative with stuff we're going to do sticking out on the top. We re-siliconed it. We used the tape and everything just like we did the bottom. We were a little more generous because we basically just had like a half a tube of silicone left. We're not going to be using it for a while, so we were just super generous. Since we're not using an undergravel filter in this because we're going to have so much stuff coming out of the bottom and everything, a lot of art stuff. We're getting real artsy on this one, aren't we?
Yes, we have. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah. It's going to be very inventive, that's for sure. One of the most creative tanks we've ever made.
Just a hint. We have a lot of little trinkets and accessories.
Yeah. So we're going to use sponge filters. It's going to have like a sponge filter in each corner kind of setup. And a lot of stuff going to be happening on the bottom here. As you can see, too, no bottom frame brace in the middle. So this is an old school tank. In fact, didn't we see what year it was made when we took off the caulk over there?
Yeah, it did. Look at this.
What's that?
It says this tank was built by some guy named Scott, April 27th, 1992.
Oh, yeah, look at that. When you take that the old silicone off, you can see that kind of stuff under there, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of old.
What do you mean, kind of?
Yeah, it's kind of old.
I graduated high school in 1991, dude.
Oh, sorry.
It's too late. Yeah, so you thought that was pretty funny how old this thing was, right? But you know what? At the end of the day, aquariums are just glass. All of this stuff, the frames, the silicone, that can be replaced and that can be refurbished as long as the glass is pretty good. And again, there are some very minor scratches in this, but I don't think it's really going to make that much of a difference. I still think we're going to be able to see it okay. And some of these you can't even see when it has the water and the lights and everything. Now, this had a factory blackened out back on it. And the reason I say factory is because we can hardly get it off. We are removing a small square of this so that sign right there, after we mount it on the back, will basically shoot through and kind of come through the back of the tank and gonna show that symbol, through the back of the blacked out tank.
Just the square. And you won't see the black red.
Yeah, you won't see the borders in that, just the symbol.
You'll just see the symbol.
So this was a pre-painted, and I believe it was factory done because it was really on there good. Now, there were some areas that chipped away. We went to the old drug mart, got some black model paint for $1.99, and just kind of brushed in all those kind of scratch marks and that. You can see here, we touched all that up. So it's really looking good now. It's all blacked out. What we're going to do is we're going to finish. And as you can see here, this was not easy to get a straight line. We actually duct tape. We made our lines. We duct taped a ruler so we could take the razor and just go right along there. Yeah, that tape right there that paint's some really old paint. But anyway, so we're gonna get that done and we'll show you what it looks like.
That's not even paint.
Get that square done, and then we're gonna get that symbol in there, and then we're gonna get this over there on the stand. Now this is where this tank's gonna go, right in between these two big kind of windows here. That's the stand. Typical kind of aquarium stand. It was in decent shape. We kind of showed in the last video, well, a couple videos ago, you did some touching up on that as well. We used a black marker and then some of that model paint that we got. It's a nice little black stand. We're just gonna use it. Fits great in between there. We did have some stuff hanging on the wall. We took that down. We patched that paint. And we are gonna be putting like a mural kind of thing on the wall behind this tank. So that's on its way here. That's gonna be one of the kind of finishing touches that we do there. That's gonna be really cool too.
This kind of looks medieval theme, like the doors kind of look like a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely aged inside. It was not really broken down too bad. We just kind of cleaned it up and finished some stuff. All of this stuff is going in this tank. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be really neat and really cool. So far, these three sides came out pretty good. Work on this last one again. Each side, we just taped a ruler to give it as a guide. This razor actually broke, but we don't have another one. So this way we can just kind of follow along this edge and get a good start. How's it looking from the other side, dude?
It looks like a window.
Yeah. So you can see here, if you kind of zoom in there, you can see as I'm going along this ruler, it gives me a great...
I can feel the tank moving.
Yeah. I gotta tell you what, I gotta press pretty hard. This is on here pretty good. Okay, so we got kind of like a little tack nail through this plastic, kind of heated it up and put it in there. That's gonna actually hold more of the weight by the chain. And we got the window done, which came out pretty good. A lot of static electricity. Jack is going to vacuum up this big old mess, right? And after we get that all cleaned up here, we're gonna mount that sign on there. All right, so dude, that is looking awesome.
Yeah, it looks like it was made to be there.
I mean, it really is cool how just this little $8 sign. So what we decided to do, we got this all taped up, the cords and everything, you know, that way it's totally good. Jack had a great idea. I said, we got to black this out, dude, because we don't want to look through this and see the wall behind it. So that is a leveling mat that we got with the 12-gallon aquarium, right?
Yeah, you go around here and I'll put it against yours.
Yeah. So we never used it because we ended up using that for the aqua cave. Now check that out. Just a little piece of black foam. We're gonna tape that. This glass is pretty dirty, but we're gonna tape that on there, black it out so you can't see through it. Totally forgot we had that in the closet, and Jack was like, hey, what about that foam, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna cut that. It's the perfect height. We're gonna cut it to width, and we're just gonna cover that up to black that out. That way the green light won't go back on the wall. So it's kind of just like we did with the 116 gallon. We're gonna cover the back, but of course we don't have to cover the whole back, just this part. All right, super cool. I mean, you gotta hand it to Gorilla Tape, dude. I mean, this is the best stuff in the world, right? Still got half of that left. We could use that for a future project or something like that. So there's quite a bit of tape and everything on here, but this thing is totally solid. We don't have to worry about it. The other thing is some people might be concerned about the heat. This is tiny little LED lights that are shooting through plastic. It is not warm at all. Totally, you know, really not a fire hazard or anything like that at all. Tape this all up. Just want to show it one more time like this. Very, very cool. Very cool. All right, let's get this in the other room. All right, dude, we got it in here. Not too bad. Not as heavy as a lot of these other ones in this room, right?
Yeah.
I'm actually really blown away at how good the walnut trim matches.
Yeah, it blends in with the curtains.
Like the curtains and the drapes and we got, of course, the two big foam beanbag chairs. Did a video on those. That's going to be part of the fish room there. You can lay down in the beanbag chairs and relax. Got two of those, overstock.com. We'll put a link in the description for that video. Digging how this looks. Looks really cool. We're going to turn the lights off, but we'll do a quick surround here real quick. So this is going to be the fish/dining, one of the rooms in the houses with tanks. There's the big 220. We're going to be doing an update on that pretty soon. This is the 116 that we did and then leaked and then had to redo. We reinforced the stand. We re-siliconed it, fixed it back up, resealed it, put it all back together. We'll be doing a follow-up on that pretty soon. There's the dining room table and everything like that. So this is going to be like a big fish room / dining room. It's going to be awesome. We're going to turn off the lights so you guys can see how this looks. Okay, so in the next few videos in this series, all that stuff's going to be working toward going into this tank. That's what it looks like so far, guys. Again, the glass isn't clean, but super cool. I'll do a close-up so you can see it from the back. Very, very pleased how that came out. Totally awesome for a cheap little LED sign we found on eBay, huh?
Yeah, it looks pretty nice.
We'll put a link in the description when we got that. This is one of Jack's favorite beanbag chairs. Kind of sticks that one up against the wall. You can sit here and watch the 220. Now you're going to be able to look at the 220, the 116 over here. That one's primarily when we're sitting at the dining room table. So that's really cool one to have over there. Again, we'll be doing a follow-up on there. We're also going to be working on this one this fall. And if they want to see the rest of the series and how we build this tank, what do they have to do, man?
Hit the bell for notifications, so one of our videos pops up when we put it out.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell, guys. This is going to be a super fun tank. It is going to encompass this whole wall, everything. And one of the challenges, it was kind of set up for us that a lot of people said that they wanted us to do, was to put some vortexes into a tank. So this tank is going to...
Underwater tornado.
Yep. This tank is actually going to have vortexes coming out of it on either side of this Green Lantern tank as a little teaser there, guys. We will see you real soon. Have an awesome weekend, everybody.
Bye-bye.